Earliette lowers her weapon, but her shoulders remain tense. She finally catches her breath, shaking her hair out of her face in a fluid motion, and looks at you. You have done your duty, Ilantak. From now on, the Lilithon has hope for the future. A future without Silent Thresh and her followers. This world has yet to be cleansed, but there is a time for everything. Now is the time to thank you. Earliette bows her head slightly. I hope that's the last I'll hear about cultists on Janus. So the heretic is dead. Now what? Now what? There's no doubt that our visit has stirred up the inhabitants of this place, but it is unlikely that their devotion to She Who Thirsts will outweigh their fear of your authority, whatever it is based on in your society. You have nothing to fear. She turns her gaze on you. What about you, Ilantak? Will you return to the skies, to the blackness amidst the stars, to seek a way through the gloom and tread to the paths of more and more new worlds? Will we ever meet again? I hear yearning in your words. Why don't you come with me on my travels? I could use a good markswoman. Yeah, a good one, not the best one. Although, to be honest, she's kind of outperforming me. I will most likely return to Janus in the future. I must keep an eye on my worlds. I'm leaving Janus, and I hope never to see you or your brethren again. I hear yearning in your words. Earliette straightens up to her full height. Go with you. She purses her lips, considering something. Perhaps that way I could search for traces of my kin who survived the destruction of our world, or even find out the cause of their deaths. Xenos in the retinue of a rogue traitor is an acceptable precedent, although highly undesirable and fraught with danger. If you truly cared for the Ilantak, you wouldn't be following her. You would have thrown yourself into the abyss long ago. You are a canker, and the jaws of Silent Thresh yawn wide within you. Don't talk to me about dangers. You, a monkey, who has no notion of what he is playing with. Oh, wow. I mean, we knew he used the warp, right? Because he's a psyker. I don't know if she was just using Silent Thresh. Was that thing's name? As like a blanket term for chaos. But yeah. Well, Ilantak, since your will supersedes human laws on Xenos, and I will face no reprisals while I am by your side, I accept your offer. Awesome. I can't believe we leveled up again. We leveled up quick. Holy crap. I'll take it, of course. An M40 autogun. You need to go through our inventory and make sure we're not picking up too many useless things. I don't think we actually needed that M40 autogun. Bolter weapon. M40 autogun again. Okay, we can move these over. We've got Heretical Follower, Sinister Diary. Grants a 20 bonus to lore warp and a 10 penalty to willpower resistance tests. Neat. I will take that. Alright, we've got goods. Give me the goods. Gotta get all the goods. Did we loot her body already? No. She had a needle pistol. 13 to 20 damage, 30 armor penetration, rate of fire 1, range 5, max ammo 5, and toxic needle. And a ring. Signet ring. Grants 10 to persuasion. So this little needler gun, I think, could be kind of fun on you. Although he already does toxic, doesn't he? So that'd be kind of pointless, wouldn't it? Small silver needle coated with viral toxin every turn for 3 turns. The target must pass a toughness test with a minus 15 penalty or suffer 4 to 6 toxic damage. This damage cannot be reduced by armor. Yeah, I don't think we really need that. We have a ring, though, which boosts persuasion, which I think is something you would like. Yeah. Her persuasion's high, right? Yeah, it's very high. Here we go.
We should deal with this.
Trying to see. Oh, we see trap. That's what we see. Okay. Grab those books. Go ahead and disarm this.
Triumphant, as always.
Tech use this.
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
Take all that. Go grab this book. Ooh. Orpheus Delanor, Notes on the Nature of Aristocracy. To be an aristocrat is to exist in a higher state of being without a doubt. Each of us is born to realize one supreme purpose, to lead humanity to perfection through our example. Perfection which the lesser beings have forgotten in the endless cycle of war and service. Only by attending to their physical, intellectual, and spiritual needs can an aristocrat fully devote themselves to that for which they were born. Creative passions, whether that be the fine arts, the written word, government, or other more refined spheres of worldly knowledge. An aristocrat's passion is in itself a virtue and the highest good. An aristocrat must satisfy these needs by any means open to them. Nothing stimulates a weary mind like fine emetic, a good flogging, or enjoyment of carnal pleasures with women, men, and animals. In the thrill of passion, an aristocrat is at liberty to torture or maim the object of their desire. If the clergy frown upon such an act, repent, atone for the apostasy with jewels, and forgive them their closed minds, for only an aristocrat is given to understand that such acts are in service of a grand purpose. Such an aristocrat deliberately curtail their own desires in some way and fail to appreciate the gifts granted them as one of nature's higher beings. Then in what way do they differ from the dust beneath one's feet? From the mindless beast, or from the crude, deceitful, useless rabble? Such a pretender is an agonizing stain on our noble society, and it behooves every true aristocrat to return our lost brother to the fold or to stamp out his contemptible life as gladly as we might crush a vexatious bug beneath our boot. Yeah, all hail the nobility. Yeah. And we get power grips, plus into strength. I think you're the one that strength means the most to. Am I wrong about that? Strength is 50. What do your gloves currently do? Additional agility damage. Yeah, I like these gloves more, I think, for you. There you go, buddy. Alright. I think that's all the loot. Unless there's loot out here I missed. I did. Goods. Get that wine.
For a deck officer, your physical fitness is impressive, Master Versarian. I take it your position as Seneschal is extremely demanding.
Young man, Rosette or no, stop lavishing these condescending compliments on me. If I were your age, you would be no match for me.
It's quite the claim there. Pretty sure, isn't Heinrichs technically older than him? Actually, I guess we don't know how old Abelard is, but we know Heinrichs is older than he looks, right? I think. Maybe I misheard or am misremembering. Alright, let's go ahead and level on up. Level 21. We've got a new ability. Okay. So Raid was one of those that we saw in our talents. Can I go back to our talents real quick? And I want to see what it was called. Oh, no, I can't see. There were two that were locked. But it doesn't look like it's showing us the locked ones. Or at least which ones are locked. I wonder if I can just find them. I don't think so. Okay, that's fine. Wasn't this catch one of them? I don't remember. Okay, but Raid was definitely something that unlocked something, right? Something that unlocked something. Until the bounty hunter's next turn, whenever an ally attacks a target marked as prey, This attack deals Bounty Hunter's perception bonus % additional damage and gains half of the Bounty Hunter's current bonuses to critical hit chance, and the critical damage granted by Hunt Down the Prey. Okay. Cull the Bold. The Bounty Hunter's next attack this turn will have additional effects. Deal an additional 5 damage, not bad. Enemy's armor will be reduced by 3 times the difficulty tier against all Bounty Hunter attacks until the end of combat. If the enemy's armor against this attack is below 20%, the enemy's dodge is also decreased by 3 times the target's difficulty tier against all Bounty Hunter attacks until the end of combat. And the Bounty Hunter's next attack this turn deals an additional 5 plus 4, probably? Yeah. So 9 damage. Cool. That's not bad. We got Piercing Shot we could choose to. The Bounty Hunter's next attack during this turn will have 100% over penetration and armor penetration. That's pretty good. The Bounty Hunter designates an enemy in a 10-cell radius as trailed and finishes the turn. I think that was something else that we saw in the talents. All allies gain 7% hit chance against a trailed enemy. 15% of the enemy's difficulty tier is more than or equal to 5. If an ally kills a trailed enemy, the Bounty Hunter gains an additional turn after that ally's turn, with all AP and MP remaining from the moment the Bounty Hunter used Hot on the Trail. The Bounty Hunter gains an additional 2 movement speed and resets this. And Hot on the Trail is used for the 3rd time during combat. The Bounty Hunter recovers 1 charge of Hunt Down the Prey. Ensnare the Prey. The Bounty Hunter sets a trap on a free cell in a 10-cell radius around them. Any enemy entering the 2-cell radius around that trap activates the trap. Each enemy in a 2-cell radius around the trap suffers direct damage and must pass an agility resistance test with a penalty, or become immobilized until the end of the enemy's next turn. The Bounty Hunter gains agility bonus movement at the end of their next turn. I kind of like that one a lot. I think I'm going to get Ensnare the Prey. That sounds fun. I like the idea of setting traps. And since I don't know if we're going to keep Earliette with us, we might go back to Argenta, but I do like Earliette. She's really strong. We'll see. Apply. Alright, for you, as an assassin, you get a skill and an ability. Alright, so your Xenos is already really high. Your awareness could always be higher, though, I guess. Can it go over 100? You know, we're gonna get Laura Xenos. We've already got Death Whisper. What's the next one we really liked? For 1 round, the assassin becomes the lowest priority target. The enemy... That's not bad, right? 10% extra damage. Poised to strike. Suffer armor and deflection penalties. And 1 enemy adjacent to them, the ally gets. If there are no enemies adjacent to the assassin, they gain 2 times. So 14% dodge reduction until the end of the turn. Okay. Dance Macabre means I can move around more, right? Yeah. Killing Edge. It's 40 dodge to the target for this attack. If the attack hits, it deals an additional lethality divided by 7 damage. And then another 100% if it's... So my lethality is 100%, I believe. Or is it 115% now? Does it tell me when I have this? No. Yeah, our dodge is 150%. That's pretty cool. In Fainting Attack. Single target will have a minus 50% armor penetration penalty with a minimum of 6 or 0% armor penetration and 10 lethality. Range attack, its target is forced to move to the closest cell in a 3-cell range with no adjacent cover facing towards the assassin. So I'm between elusive. I mean, this wouldn't be bad either. We'll get Elusive Shadow. Also get half cover. Yeah. 10% additional damage. You know what? I want Fainting Attack. I think that's cooler. Make that decision quick. You know, I need a drink real quick. Alright. Pascal, you get an ability. So another stratagem. So we've got Kill Zone Stratagem. What's Overwhelming Stratagem? I've forgotten what all these do. Overwhelmed. The creature suffers 5 plus 2. So 7 times 6. I'm not going to do math. Ballistic skill. Okay. That's pretty big. Right? That's 42. Minus 42 on their ballistics. So that's, yeah, that's pretty good. Minus 25% rate of fire. And 5 plus 6, so 11 weapon skill. Additionally, melee creatures have their MP reduced by 3, and ranged creatures try to get behind cover. A creature counts as a melee creature if it has at least 1 melee weapon. This additional effect does not work on some stronger enemies. I like that one a lot. For 1 round, our allies in that area gain armor, cannot be overpenetrated, gain immunity to prone effect, and gain deflection against area attacks. And do not suffer injuries for receiving damage. All allies within the range of the Grand Strategist gain the ability to move to that area. The movement does not provoke attacks of opportunity and does not spend MP. That's kind of cool. Combat Locus. For 1 round, the targeted area's bonuses are doubled. All other tactical areas are discharged and cannot be used this turn, but can be designated again next turn. And Trench Line. All allies in that area gain cover efficiency and reroll all failed characteristics tests. Additionally, cover in the area does not suffer any damage. Okay. I like Overwhelming Stratagem. Next up, Abelard. Get an ability. Okay. So, okay. The Vanguard gains parry until next turn. Whenever the Vanguard parries an enemy attack, they immediately make an attack of opportunity with a 20 penalty to weapon skill against the enemy. So that's 12 times unyielding beacon stacks. That's not bad. That's a pretty good parry percentage. Bulwark. Until the start of their next turn, the Vanguard gains damage deflection against ranged attacks equal to the number of stacks of the unyielding beacon on the Vanguard. And immune to being pushed. And force movement effects. Forces the enemy in their melee range to immediately attack the Vanguard. I think I remember what these do, right? This is kind of like a taunt, and this is kind of like a distant taunt. Vanguard chooses an ally. All enemies in a 3-star radius around this ally must make a will saving throw. On a failed test, the Vanguard becomes their priority target. Yeah, it's kind of like a distant range taunt. Okay. Until the start of the next turn, the Vanguard gains % damage and % armor penetration against enemies in a 2-star radius around the Vanguard. Additionally, when the ability is cast, all allies in a 2-star radius around the Vanguard gain the following ability until the start of the Vanguard's next turn. Can move to any cell adjacent to the Vanguard without provoking attacks of opportunity. That could be good. That could be good. I think we're going to go with the defensive stance, though. Yep. And then might as well get Carouse up to 100. Beautiful. Alright. New ability for you. So this is your first stratagem. Wait, no, I can pick... Never mind. Okay, so there was a gaze, right? Is held in my gaze? I think this is the one that I've been told to get. The Navigator deals from 1+2 times willpower, so 6, so up to 12, to up to 36 willpower bonus damage to an enemy. That enemy must pass a willpower resistance test or become immobilized until the start of the Navigator's next turn. Yeah, we're gonna get that. Because I think that's what I'm supposed to get. And if I'm wrong, then, you know, I'm sorry. There's nothing else to say. I'll try to do better, I swear. Okay, and then you're also probably gonna get a psychic ability. I do kind of like I do like the Arch Militant playstyle. It's really fun. Devastating attack. If failed, the target will suffer a negative effect based on the attack type. Impact. Knocks the target prone. I kind of want to get more of this stuff, but at the same time, this stuff is so strong. Warp speed. Ooh. That's kind of good. Regeneration. That's also really good. Sorry I'm not reading them all, but... Hammer of the Emperor. What are we missing? Purge Soul or Shield of the Emperor. Deals from 1 times... or 1+2 +1. Okay, so it's 3 + 1 times Resolve, which is 2. So 8 divided by 4, which is 2. Alright, direct damage. This damage is increased by 50% against Xenos, 100% against Chaos Worshippers or Drukhari, by 150% against demons, and 50% if the enemy has already damaged the Psyker or any of the Psyker's allies this combat. These damage bonuses also affect any damage bonuses from other sources. Alright, so I was looking at Hammer of the Emperor. So what are these? Allies affected by Words of the Emperor? Word of the Emperor? Are healed. Do I have Word of the Emperor? That's something I have. Gain the Hammer of the Emperor effect. Next time they deal damage, this damage is increased by 5. Okay. I kind of like Warp Speed. Metabolic Overcharge. The target ally immediately gains an extra turn with twice the number of their normal MP and Psyker's Psi rating AP, but their organism is subjected to severe stress, making them suffer 5% of their maximum wounds damage at the end of each turn until the end of combat. Enfeeble. Until the end of combat, all targets within the area of effect suffer a penalty to strength and agility, and increase to all incoming damage. I mean, that's not bad. 12% increase to all incoming damage. 10 cell radius. I kind of like that. That's actually sounds like it could be useful. Let's get Enfeeble. Oh, you get a talent. Okay. Interesting. Pulse of Life. No. Deterioration. Whenever an effect applied by the Psyker increases the damage suffered by a target, its effect is increased by half. So this would go up from 12% to 18%. You know, that matches pretty well with Enfeeble. Let's get Deterioration. There we go. Who knows if I'm building good characters? I have no idea.
Embrace true power.
But now we can leave. Hey, Attilius! The secretary is shaking in terror, looking around at the devastation. Your ladyship, What happened? Where's Lady Viat? The secretary stares at Uriet in horror. His face twists, but he cannot seem to get out a single word. Janus was under two distinct threats: the corruption of chaos in the form of Vistenza Viat and her associates, and the Xenos who have manipulated the servants of the Imperium. I dealt with both of them. Vistenza Viat has been executed as a traitor to the Imperium. Her accomplices must be found and put to death immediately. Vistenza Viat has tragically perished at the hands of the perfidious traitors to the Imperium who infiltrated her inner circle. She must be avenged. Hunt down and execute the conspirators. Don't ask questions. The answers are no concern of yours. You will receive all future instructions from my authorized representatives. Out of the way. I don't have time for you. We're going to go with Vistenza Viat. Has been executed as a traitor to the Imperium. Her accomplices must be found and put to death immediately. Oh no! Heresy! Heresy on Janus! The secretary makes a protective gesture over himself. May the God Emperor watch over us. Whatever the governor did, I had no knowledge of it. We will root out those who colluded with her right away. The secretary begins to speak, but thinks better of it, instead choosing to step aside and bow his head as you pass. I think you were in on it, and I kill you. I just noticed that this is the dining table from the splash art for this place. Okay. Anything else? Heinrich waves your companions on ahead with an imperious gesture, and then rounds on you, his eyes revealing disapproval and even alarm. Uh-oh. Lord Captain, I need an explanation. What are you doing? No, that's not even the right question. Do you realize what you are doing? You cut off the heads of the Resistance and the planet's government, and now you plan to just leave? Did you not consider the possibility that this could lead to infrastructural collapse? I did consider it, but the game has not given me something to do about it, so hopefully you do. Your new companion is a member of a dangerous breed of Xenos, notorious for their duplicity and cunning. It would be a mistake to place any trust in her facade of compliance and amenability. You are suddenly struck by a strange realization. Despite his severe tone, Heinrich is not angry that you broke the law. His every word rings with concern. For you. Oh, he cares about me. This isn't about flouting of imperial law. You're worried about me, aren't you? Are you going to punish me for misconduct? Do you know who you remind me of? My seneschal. He also frequently offers unsolicited criticism of my choices. He does at that, that's for sure. You're worried about me, aren't you? Heinrich takes a deep breath and immediately releases it, hissing through his teeth. Possibly? Yes. To be a rogue trader, to be empowered to transgress the limits of imperial law and make decisions that would risk charges of heresy for anyone else, is to put yourself at risk. The interdicts of the God Emperor were created in part to protect humanity from thousands upon thousands of dangers. Heinrich takes a deep breath. I only hope that you don't forget that the threats hanging over us all. Why must your concern for me be wrapped up in layers of rebukes and recriminations? I like that you are worried about me. I have not forgotten, Heinrich. I just enjoy baiting you too much. I don't know if this is like the appropriate time to sort of be playfully flirting. I would like there to be a softer side to Imogen, but it just doesn't feel like, there are guards right there, and I don't think this is the right time to be doing this, or the right place. Probably should have done it back, in like an empty hallway, or even the room, the governor's estate office thing. Why must your concern for me be wrapped up in layers of rebukes and recriminations? Heinrich is silent for a moment. How else can I get through to you and make you listen without resorting to even harsher measures? Just say what you mean. I would listen to you without the strong arm tactics. I do not want the shadow of the Imperium and the Golden Throne to always come between us. Just say what you mean. Heinrich scowls. Maybe. Maybe not. Either way, I've investigated heresy for too many years to simply trust in people's good faith alone. Fear of punishment is the best failsafe. Catching himself, Heinrich clears his throat and takes a step back, breaking eye contact. His usual impassive expression returns. Thank you, rogue trader. I see no reason to detain you any longer.
I tread a path unexplored.
Okay. To the estate. Anything new going on out here? No, we've got Antilius again. We might as well go see. It is kind of strange that we're not, like, you know, dealing with the power vacuum here. Maybe we'll deal with it when we get to the ship. I don't really know. Anything new in here? The Vox Master is awaiting orders regarding the fate of this world. Okay, cool. Perfect. On our travels, the rogue trader may encounter Aldiri, who fled Cruderok, and now find themselves in dire straits. Erdiette has promised to reward the Lord Captain should she manage to rescue them. Yeah, I feel like the Xenos situation hasn't yet developed, like how she feels about the Xenos. And ultimately how she'll approach it. And I think that's mainly a product of me just not really knowing the lore of the universe as well. Kind of like how I was with Chaos at the beginning. I was kind of like, oh, is Chaos really that bad? Or is it just like, you know, whatever? But no, it's bad. We now have control over the granaries of Janus. The promise of help given to the liege of Footfall Vladim Takara can now be fulfilled, should the rogue trader so desire. Send provisions to Footfall, giving its inhabitants new hope and asserting their right to rule over the station. Do not send supplies to Footfall, allowing the righteous Incendia Corda to restore Imperial order on the lawless station. Or, if we were heretical, we could do that one. We're going to send provisions. The inhabitants of Footfall Station will praise the rogue trader, who spared them the painful choice between starvation and succumbing to the reign of Incendia Corda. Profit factor 5, Iconoclast 15, 350 XP. To welcome the new rogue trader, the Adeptus Mechanicus' planetary office brought to the ship an offering of several versatile macro combines, ancient machines whose carcasses had been found on Janus and carefully restored. The Sacred Steel Titans will serve the Von Valancius dynasty. 3 mobile extractiums. Nice. Oh, and, oh, we have a project on Janus now, too. Oh, and we get different ones. That's cool. No. Okay, so we got Kim Princes. Many planetary aristocrats have stained themselves with incompetence and lost their titles. A new nobility of Kim Princes will be created out of subjects who prove capable in science and governance. Those who succeed in wisely maintaining their agri-complex fiefs, strictly maintaining obedience among the commoners, and increasing the output of rare organic chemicals will keep their position. Alright, so we get Tears of Repentance times 5. Consumable. All creatures that enter the area of effect created by this grenade must pass a test. On a failed test, toughness test, the target becomes blinded. Strength test slowed. Will test disturbed. Okay. And it's a replenishing thing. Okay. Security goes up by 1. Chemicals up by 1. Numerous substances contain remarkable power. Magi alchemies know how to awaken such powers, and the fruits of this labor are highly sought after by skilled artisans, wise healers, and harsh purgers of corruption. And provisions. So these are more things we could get up here. Okay. Alt Requisitors. In the days of the mutiny, many among Janus's pampered nobility fled the planet. They are to be replaced with more enterprising servants. A small but ambitious Alt Requisitor and syndicate belonging to the Casbalica mission has contacted the rogue trader with a lowly request to entrust the governance of Janus to them. With Vladane Takara pushing all of his competitors out of the cold trade, the Alt Requisitors are hoping to change their line of business and become dignified aristocrats serving House von Valancius. That's noble of them. We get Starblight, which is a Drakari weapon. And it's also a sniper rifle. Ooh. Additional hit chance 25%. That sounds amazing. Oh, man. That's almost worth getting just as it is. Especially, I think if you're doing a playthrough where you keep your Liet, that's definitely something you gotta get, right? Profit factor +1, complacency +1, xenotech, and provisions. Okay. And sophocracy. Janus is ailing, and who better to cure it than the sage genitors of the Magos Biologus. Management of the agri-complexes will be taken away from the aristocrats and handed over to the servants of the Omnissiah, who will synchronize their operations for the benefit of the planet. We get Apexalium Stimulant, grants 10 strength, toughness, and agility, and a penalty to perception and willpower for 2 rounds. Okay. Efficiency goes up by 1. Provisions 4. I think we're gonna go with this one. I feel like we've kind of been really favoring the servants of the Omnissiah, the tech priests, and the Adeptus Mechanicus, and I guess the Magos Biologus now. I just feel like that's kind of what we've been leaning towards. I don't know, maybe I'm misremembering, but I mean, we saved the big generator thing. I feel like generally we've been pretty pro-Omnissiah. We had that miracle with the warp drive getting out of Rykad. I think, and to be honest, they probably do a good job of, you know, keeping the planet running efficiently. I'm between this and Chem Princes. I do like the sniper rifle a lot, but I don't think we'd hand it over to former criminals. I think we're gonna go with this. Even though I think this is also like the worst reward. Maybe this isn't that bad of a stimulant. I guess using it on maybe Abelard would be really good, because he doesn't really need the other things. I think Heinrichs does need willpower, right? Alright. It is done. Oh, can we do another one? I think we have to wait, don't we? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have to. Oh, yeah. Following projects must be completed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have to wait. Well, we can't make anything anyway. Show unavailable projects. Okay. Can I see my colonies? It's a quick way to see my colony management. This is still being created? What the hell? Taking forever. Alright, let's go ahead and head off the ship. And let's talk a little bit with our companions around the ship. See if there's anything new after the Janus mission. I also want to check my journal. Do we need to go to Footfall? It'd be kind of cool if we got to select a leader for Janus. I guess we are kind of doing that in the colony screen, but I kind of wish there was more like a little personal ceremony kind of thing where I dub somebody a new leader. Alright, so those quests are now gone. So, situational footfall, operation, yeah, that's all on the other places, but we have done this one. We've restored shipments from Janus, so that's good. Shadow Quarters, Kiavagama. Did that say? Yeah, Chronic. Aldari Survivors, the new ruler. Completed development project of the highest difficulty in any colony. Darganas, Kiavagama. Okay, so I think next is we're going to be looking for, I guess, either one of them. We have a few quests for both of them, right? Anything new? No. Okay. Wonder where Earliette is hanging out.
Words cannot describe how I haven't.
Argenta.
Lord Captain, your presence is welcome. And I wish to apologize for my prior coldness. After our first meeting, I was concerned that you would turn out to be another faithless offshoot of the von Valancius dynasty, like the traitor Conrad. But now I see before me a worthy leader and servant of the Imperium. I am glad to accompany you in your endeavors.
So she's got some new dialogue. Are you ready to tell me more about yourself now?
If such is the rogue trader's wish, although there isn't much I can tell, I am the Emperor's daughter and his servant. What else is there to know?
Where do you hail from?
Now that I can tell you, I come from everywhere and nowhere. I am the child of officers of the Imperial Guard. I was born in the hold of a warship. Grew up following my parents' deployments from one planet to another, and lost my family in the flames of a righteous war. My memory is like wafts of smoke over a still battlefield. The gray of a ship's plating. The strict cadence of life in military camps. My mother's uniform. I loved looking at it. Then, that battle. The rumbling, the shouting, and the soot. The screams of soldiers burning alive. And the gold of the regiment's Aquila. Untouched by soot or blood. The last unsullied piece of a world that was going mad. That was my last memory of my mother, and of my former life, before the Schola Progenium and the novitiate, before my trials, before the vows.
I don't know if I would say that's an exciting like that live, or like a terrible one to live, right? Having to, with all the wars and stuff that are in this universe. That golden shard you carry with you.
My own relic. It's the regiment's Aquila. Or rather, the fragment that survived the attack, the explosions, and the fire. For me, it's a reminder that purity and radiance can be preserved, even in the heart of darkness.
So how did you become one of the Adepta Sororitas?
Become? It's such a strange word for it. It seems right, but is that how one talks about their destiny? If you're asking about the path itself, that's easy enough to answer. First, like many other orphans, I endured the Schola Progenium. Those years were rough, but I remember the hardship fondly. Few things can compare with the feeling of satisfaction from a past trial, even if it leaves your body aching from exhaustion or your soul wincing in pain. I was one of the best among my peers, and I was selected for the novitiate in the ranks of the Adepta Sororitas. when the hour came, I passed the trials and took my vows. The most joyous day of my life. The Emperor's light has always been with me. But to accept it with all your heart, to utter the oaths, that is a rapture like no other.
Have you ever wished for a different lot in life?
Have I ever... But that would be shameful weakness, almost heresy. Of course not.
She definitely
I
has.
was born for this. I live by the Emperor's will, and in his light, I myself am the light. I must be the light. For myself, and for those who ask for my protection.
Oh no, I mean, you're pretty defensive there.
I was chosen to serve. But beyond that, I won't deny it. Few things elate me as much as the thought that the heretic felled by my shot will never again orphan a child.
Thank you for your candor.
It is my pleasure to be candid.
I would like to discuss Salus Prime and the relic that you want to find.
Of course, my mission is all I can think about.
I already remember it still, so we're not going to ask that. Tell me about Saint Argenta, whose relic you're searching for.
Gladly. Listen. Long ago, there was a blessed world. Thousands of stars covered the sky there, so bright that its denizens hardly knew the darkness of night. Thousands of rivers nurtured the soil. Thousands of gardens bloomed every spring, and at every moment, thousands of prayers were flying into the clear air, thanking and praising the Emperor. But one day, the people learned the meaning of darkness. Like a storm, accursed heretics who had sold themselves to the archenemy descended upon the planet. Shells flew from the sky that desolated whole cities and burned the gardens and filled the riverbeds with the blood of the faithful. Smoke and soot swallowed the skies and the 1,000 stars that had once shone over the world. Among the handful of survivors was one orphan who had watched all her family die, and the garden she'd grown up in burned to ash. But in her heart, she knew the absolute truth. Just these 3 words. The Emperor protects. And knowing that, she never looked away from the black, terrifying, smoke-covered sky. There were no more bright stars to be seen, except for one. The one star. The bright star. The silver star shone in the sky. And when the orphan smiled at it, the one star fell right into her hands. All the faithful in every corner of the continent who saw the trail of the falling star recognized it as an omen and went looking for the place where it landed. And they rallied together. And with the light of the one star, they found their salvation.
People following a star to a salvation, huh? Classic. The girl from the story, that was Saint Argenta?
Yes, that was the beginning of her hagiography. It is known that she lived on a world where heretics staged a terrible insurrection. They wiped out all life on the planet, except those whom Saint Argenta managed to save with the one star, and with the strength of her faith. After that, she traveled between worlds, gripped by turmoil on her ship marked with a silver star, and brought hope to the faithful. Numerous accounts confirm this. Her coming helped people turn the tide of the war and wipe away corruption before the Imperium's main forces even arrived. Millions of people owed their lives to her, but the heretics, having realized their imminent defeat, sent the remnants of their forces after the ship with the Silver Star. It fell from the skies onto an obscure world. There are no definitive records of how old Argenta was at the time. In some chronicles, she's even called the Child Saint, but their credibility is questionable. Either way, she didn't live long, but she left a bright trail in her wake, like a falling star.
So, what is the one star?
If I only knew. Neither the hagiography nor the legends give a straight answer. Classical iconographers believed that the star turned into a banner woven from silver thread, which, when brought onto the battlefield, would shed light that blinded only heretics, but did no harm to the faithful. Most of them portrayed Saint Argenta as a girl carrying this banner. Others think that upon falling from the sky, the one star became a holy chainsword, which Argenta later used to strike down monsters and enemies of the Imperium. In some of the earlier engravings, Argenta is depicted wearing power armor with a silver star on her chest. One theological theory suggests that this armor was, in fact, the relic. Some even think that the one star is actually the ship on which Argenta traveled.
I don't know which one I'd want to be true. A one-star ship actually sounds kind of cool, but I mean, we have our own ship already, so...
I feel that my undertaking will be fulfilled when I find the answer that has eluded the Ecclesiarchy for millennia. I pray we find the way to Salus Prime soon. The ruinous powers must be aligned against us. They stand in the way of faith.
That they do. That they do.
One day we will reach Salus Prime and stand before the gates of Saint Argenta's ship. I know it. I believe.
Me too. Because we're going to go to every system, so odds are we will make it there. Thank you for this conversation. Until next time. Alright. So we still got a few people to talk to, including Juliet over here. But we're going to have to do that in the next episode. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day. And I'll catch you later.